say a few words about a man who meant so much to so many of us. Mr. Julius Corville lived 93 remarkable years. He served our country during the Korean War, but if you knew him, you know that his greatest legacy wasn't his service to the country. It was the life he lived afterwards. Amen. So his greatest legacy wasn't simply his military service. It was the life marked by faith, determination, humility, wisdom, and that quiet strength. Yeah. To many, he was a respected veteran, a faithful church member, a husband, father, and grandfather, and a dear friend. But to me, he became something even more personal. He became a mentor, a teacher, and someone I came to love very deeply. One of the greatest gifts Mr. Julius ever gave to me was something that I didn't even know I never expected, and something I didn't know I needed, was the connection to my own father. From the day he realized who I was and explained to me that he used to fish with my dad, and that he remembered me as a child. And I'm not sure if he adopted me or I adopted him, but it was a mutual adoption from then. So from then on, whenever life became difficult for me, I selfishly ran to Mr. Julius. And I could just sit by him, and somehow everything felt a little lighter. He didn't even have to say anything or offer any advice, but just being around him had a way of calming me down, reminding me of what truly mattered. So one of the things I always remember was his determination. And we used to joke that determination about things for his family, and I used to joke with him about how somebody should have taken that key away from him for that shed and his lawnmower, because he loved to cut that grass. He did. But that determination also encouraged me that whenever I felt tired or sore or tempted to put something off, I'd simply think of Mr. Julius. And then I could get up and go cut my own grass. And realize that I didn't have any excuse. So without even ever realizing it, it became one of the standards that I measured my own life by. His example challenged me to keep going when quitting would have been much easier. And every Sunday, Mr. Julius had his place in church. And if he missed service, I'd call him and fuss at him a little bit, or pretend to fuss at him. But in truth, I think he enjoyed being fussed at a little bit. And that just simply reminded him that somebody missed his presence. And when he wasn't here in church, church just wasn't the same for me, honestly. No offense, Pastor. But some seats become more than just a place to sit. They become part of the person who occupied them. So I don't know if I'll ever sit in that pew again. But, many of the young veterans that I met, I tried to introduce them to Mr. Julius over the years. And without fail, they came away impressed with him. Now, we may have disagreed on politics or sports or any number of things, but every one of us can agree on this. They don't make men like Mr. Julius anymore. Amen. We belong to a generation that understood duty. They understood sacrifice. A generation that believed that their word mattered. A generation that quietly carried responsibility without expecting any applause. I only had the privilege of knowing Mr. Julius for a few years. Some of you have known him for decades. But I've learned The value of a relationship isn't measured by its length. Sometimes a few years are enough to change the direction of a person's life. So those few years were certainly enough to change mine. Toward the end, Mr. Julius would occasionally tell me he believed his work here was finished. And of course I argued with him. And I'd laugh and tell him that God knew that I was still stupid, so he needed to hang around. Because I selfishly needed one more afternoon with him. You know, I wanted one more afternoon with my friend, one more. And Mr. Julius reminded me of that. I needed one more Western. I needed one more lunch with him. One more anything. But he reminded me of the man I'm still trying to become. I'm still trying to be more patient like he was, more faithful, more determined, and more willing to serve others. He inspired me to keep striving toward the better version of myself that I'm yet to meet. So, when I finally become more like that man, I know part of Mr. Julius will still be living through those lessons he taught me. As the Apostle Paul said in 2 Timothy 4:7, I have fought a good fight. I have finished my course. I have kept the faith. Those words describe Mr. Julius beautifully. He fought the good fight. He served his country. He lived his faith. He finished his course. And he kept the faith. Perhaps that's why God finally called him home. So his work is complete. Now it's our turn to carry those lessons forward. So Mr. Julius, thank you for remembering my father, for giving the oldest of those little boys a gift that he never knew he needed, for your friendship, your wisdom, that quiet example of perseverance and faith. I still wish we could share one more conversation. We will. One more meal, another laugh, another lesson. But those lessons remain the next time I feel tired, the next time I feel discouraged, the next time I wonder whether I should keep going. I'll think of you, and I will get back up. I'll keep moving forward, because that's what Mr. Julius taught me to do. So rest well, Mr. J. Here. Your watch is over, but your influence lives on.